I'm Sandra.
Hi, I'm Carrie.
And we are the
Screaming
Divas.
Divas.
Who are we interviewing today, Carrie?
Okay, I'm really excited about this human being, Angel Blue. I did not know her, and I was really excited to talk to her because she's been doing some really cool stuff over COVID, during COVID time.
Faithful
And
Fridays.
Faithful Fridays. And now I can't remember what it's called with Dallas Opera. What is it called?
The Journey.
The Journey with Dallas Opera. So not only has she had this really amazing career so far and so young, but she's also, really put some love and joy and happiness out on the internet during COVID, which I really appreciate.
Yep. So check out. It was really heartfelt, great conversation. And I think all of you are going to take away a lot from this. So check out this clip. Bye.
I hope that what happens with opera is that we are more for each other and more for the art form than we've ever been before. I hope so.
I hope that one day in the future that you and I can have a Disney Princess Smackdown.
Okay, wait.
You started singing Color of the Wind, and I was like, oh, I want to sing that. Do we have a duet version of that?
I love that. That's hilarious. So wait, so who is your favorite Disney princess?
And Sandra.
Carrie.
I feel like we say this all the time. I don't understand why I have to say this again, but what do I have to say?
Please subscribe.
Click the button. Oh, and the bell. We love all of you, and we're sorry we're so annoying.
I think right now I'm a little bit more annoying, but maybe I'll stop if y'all subscribe.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, cheers. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Cheers to you too as well.
Cheers.
Yay. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. You both look so beautiful. How are you?
Good to you.
Good. Where are you? Where are you coming from?
I'm in New Jersey.
Nice.
Yeah.
I live in New Jersey.
How is it?
Mm-hmm.
Cold. It's actually a little cold today, to be honest with you. Yeah, I had a big thick sweater on when I was running around the house just kind of doing errands because I was so freezing. And then I thought, I don't want to get on Screaming Divas with this big thing on. So I put another sweater on but it's colorful. But it's quite cold. For me, it's cold. It's like 60 something, low 60.
California girl, right?
Yeah, Southern California.
For you.
Yes.
All the California license plate.
Yes.
Well, I'm a Florida girl, and you're a girl after my own heart, because in Florida, anytime it hit like 69, everybody brought out their sweaters, like you thought you were dying, like the world was ending. It was cold. It was horrible. So yeah.
Yes, that's about what it's like for me. I'm like, oh wait, it's not 75? Okay, here comes my jacket.
Oh man, but you get used to it. I think your body gets acclimated to it. Somebody said that your blood your blood thins. I don't know.
I hope so. Right now.
Well, you're married to a techie too, because my
is
husband is a techie. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, my husband is he's a computer programmer. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Oh, super techie.
Yes. Like he can take the computer apart and like do the whole. He's done that to several of my computers actually. Every time I have a laptop that crashes, he takes it apart and he can put it back together and program it and all that. I mean, he's really smart. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Well, we're opera singers. We shouldn't, we sing. We sing on stage.
Yes. But
we don't sing like this either. But
I mean, I didn't know anything about this until the shutdown, and then I missed the conversation, so that's why we started these shenanigans. And then I was like, babe, how do I do this? And then he was like, well, you need to learn Final Cut Pro. I was like, who to what? What's that? And so then he pulled it up, and I was learning it, and I'm like, this is cool. And so so I've had so much
down
fun
the rabbit hole,
and people are like, oh, you have somebody that does all that stuff for you. And I'm like, no, I don't. I do this all by myself. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
You too. So how have you been? I mean, 6 months. Oof.
I'm honestly, if I can be really, really honest,
Yes.
I'm so happy to be at home. I'm
Yeah,
having a
there
good
is that.
time. You know, I really am. I'm having a great time. I kind of feel like really excited by the fact that I get to make my own schedule. You know, I get to kind of do whatever I want to do. I mean, this is probably like, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago now, where I had a day where I was like, I don't have anything to do. And Bonnie and Clyde was on with Faye Dunaway and, oh, he's very handsome. I forgot his name. Warren Beatty.
Warren
And
Beatty. Yeah.
Warren Beatty, thank you. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch old movies today. And that's basically what I did. Came downstairs and made some coffee. I went back upstairs and I had popcorn. I was just watching movies
Love
all
it.
day, you
Love
know? And I haven't really been like thinking super hard about music, which is probably not the best thing to do, but I'm having a good time, ladies. I don't know. I mean, I'm having a good time.
I mean, yeah, the financial side of it, let's put
Yes.
that aside. But you know, you're right. It's nice to live life.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, I watched your show. I've been watching your show, but I got caught up on some episodes last night, and me and my nice glass of red wine that my husband bought me, it was really good.
Yes.
So I got caught up on it last night, and I was listening to what you were saying about how last year, Sandra, you were so busy that you were just kind of like just looking for the time to stop and just relax, and I can't imagine with your schedule, just having one thing after the next, after the next, after the next. It's tiresome. So I know for myself, I think I was sort of getting to my own breaking point to where I was just like, yeah, this quarantine thing, it came at a time when I really needed it. So I've welcomed it. I have welcomed it. I do miss my colleagues. I miss seeing people sing and going to the opera, but I welcome being at home. It's nice. Maybe I'm a little too lazy at home sometimes, but I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I think we all have been.
Yes.
And I think we have to cut ourselves a little slack and allow ourselves to have that luxury right now, because there's a lot. I think even when you say you're sitting there watching Bonnie and Clyde, I mean, your brain is still processing
It's
stuff,
true.
Yeah. And I think that's where we are now, going, okay, wow, I just read something and we're trying to take it all in. And that's what this time is about, I think, is just really, but
Very
you
true.
have been singing a bit.
Yeah.
You sang on the Met Gala, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was fun.
And you've been doing your own show.
Yes. I started a talk show. I like to call it a talk show. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. Virtual talk show. I don't know, going live, whatever. Called Faithful Friday. My minor in college was broadcast journalism.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I like learning about people and talking to people. I like to talk more about other people than I do myself, because my thoughts get, as you'll see, my thoughts are like, well, this, then that, then this, but it's better if it's easier for me to ask people questions. But so I started this thing called Faithful Friday, and I named it Faithful Friday because Friday is my favorite day of the week. And I wanted to be faithful in doing it consistently. So I was like, consistent Friday? No, Faithful Friday. So I named it Faithful Friday.
Oh, I thought it was because of your father and being
No, no, not really. It's just the word faithful just means to be consistent, to be steadfast, to, to do it all of the time. And so I was just like, okay, Angel, you can do it. And my goal was to do it for 10 weeks, 10 Fridays. And I ended up doing it for 12 Fridays. So I was really happy with that,
Awesome.
And I mean, since we're recording this, I would love to have both of you on Faithful Friday if you have the time. That would be an honor, really.
Are you starting it up again? Because I know you kind of took a break from it.
I took a break and I brought it back. So I have this thing, season 2, but season 2 is a lot less, I don't want to call it stressful. It's just a lot, maybe I shouldn't even say that it's really a season. It's more about just me just sort of connecting with the people who I'm really inspired by, and people who I think have a lot of just, I don't know, motivation and inspiration to give to others, so it's not going to be as I think as intense as the last season. Like this season, I'm planning to do some Fridays where I just go live and I just talk to the people who have the time to come online, and we just sort of talk about what we've been up to and how we're doing, that kind of a thing. So I hope that that it can continue to be on every Friday like I had before.
Cool.
It's a commitment.
It is.
It is. Yes.
And going live, like we record this because I don't know about Sandra, but for me, like going live scares the living crap out of me. Excuse me.
That's fun.
Because I don't know, like I can't control, like I'm a type A, I'm a Capricorn, I have to control everything. And so it's part of me that's like, I can't control where the conversation's going to go. And are we going to go somewhere where I don't know if I really want that out in the real world? You know, like, I mean, that's correct. So yeah. I think I think that's brave. I mean, anybody that goes live, like when I watch, when Leo Crochetto did it, when Isabel Leonard, like, I'm like, all you people, you are so brave.
Well, there's so much going on in the world right now that people have very strong opinions about things. True. And I mean, these two, our show and your show, I think is a great place for people to express their feelings and tell us how they're feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I really like I mean, I hate COVID, but I like this time because it's shown so many creative sides of our colleagues, you know, right. And we do get to hear from everybody and to see what everybody is, excuse me, what everybody's thinking, how they're feeling. And I know for those of us there's a lot of singers who really do miss work. And it's been nice to be able to see that it's not just me that misses it, or, you know, it's other people. We have the same feeling. I think that's really important. It's also important for people just to see us as people and not just as performers, you know, right. Because they get to see, hey, I have a family, you know, yeah, I know that you see me on stage, but I do have to go home and take care of a kid. I do have to make sure that my husband's needs are tended to. I do have to make sure that my house is clean, you know. I like that about this time.
Yeah. I think what surprised me was, and Sandra knows this, I haven't really talked publicly about it, but I was really burnt out. Like, I mean, burnt out over really thinking about what my next chapter was, because I just was, I don't know, I just was over it. I've been doing it a really long time. I didn't understand where the business was going, how it was changing. Where do I fit into that? Do I want to fit into that? I've had an amazing ride and I've seen the world, not all of it, but a good part of it, and had some amazing friends I've kept over all these years. And so I really was like, you know, and then COVID hit. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I got ripped off that stage, literally. Like, we really just don't come back to the theater. And over this time, I'm grateful for the time for thoughtfulness, for reflection, for what Sandra and I've done with reaching out to colleagues and talking to them, and really not fluff, but I really wanted to know these people and know their lives and know where their stories came from. It's so fascinating. Some of them I really want to go back and talk more with. But for me, it was a realization of how much I actually love the gift I was given, how much I think there's more to give in whatever capacity that is, and falling back in love with something that really has meant a lot to me and has touched my life and moved my life and changed my life. And I thought, I'm not done yet. I don't know what the next chapter looks like. I mean, listen, my management company just blew up. So, you know, with Cammie going under, and we have no idea what the opera world is going to look like when we all come out of it. But I just love that I fell in love with it again, whatever that looks like for me. So I think, yeah, it's really reflective time. So I'm grateful for that.
Angel, have you been very reflective too on your career? And
I have been. I mean, for me, I sort of have been feeling like especially the last probably 5 years, being married and also having a career, having the international thing, traveling and stuff. The last 5 years, I've really wanted to slow down. And I suppose that's just because I feel like I've only been singing professionally for 11 years, which is actually a good amount of time, but 11 years. And in that 11 years, I feel like the first half of those 11 years were spent just saying yes to everything. Yes, 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 yes. You want me to come here? Yes. Okay. You need me to learn this on the plane? Yes. Okay. I'll do this. Yes. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, as I'm getting older, I feel like, wait a minute, you got a family now. Wait a minute, you have different responsibilities now. It's not just you being 26, 27 years old with your suitcase running around the world. Mm-hmm. It is you with a whole other set of responsibilities and priorities. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think those, for me, this time I have reflected, but I think in that reflection, I'm understanding what's really important to me, what's vital to my existence, what's important for my heart, for me to be happy. you know, and I don't
you've
know.
had some great in the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years of your career, huge debuts. I mean,
Yes.
big role debuts, house debuts, and
Yes.
each one has been more successful than the last.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, but that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
and it sounds like you saying, "Hey, I want to slow down," and you're putting the brakes on it. And when you do that, it's funny how things double. You know,
Yeah.
people want you even more. You know.
Yes. It's fascinating. I mean, if I may share this, when in 2015 I had my Metropolitan Opera audition, and Sandra, you were getting ready to go do Jeopardy, and you came backstage, and you know, I don't know that I've actually really been able to say thank you for that, but you were so kind to me, and you were so nice. Just, I mean, I'm standing back there, and I'm just like, you know, shaking in my heels, shaking in the heels, you know, shaking in the dress, just shake, shake, shake. And I was so nervous, and you came to my dressing room. I had passed you in the hall, but you came to the dressing room where I was warming up, knocked on the door, standing there looking so gorgeous and beautiful. And then you're like, you held my hands, you know, like our hands were like this. And you're like, just have fun. Enjoy it. They're going to love you. Just have fun, and just have fun. Just have fun. And I have to say, I think that was, you know, that was just such a blessing to me. Because you didn't have to do that. You could have been like, I got to go do Jeopardy. I'm about to sing the Three Queens. I have stuff to do. You know what I mean? You didn't have to stop and take the time to do that. And I appreciate you for that. And Susan Graham also did the same thing. When I was walking to stage, she was like, go get them, have fun, go kill it, just enjoy it, you know? And I think that's really sort of I have to say that was the beginning of a lot of auditions for me. Yeah. Had you not done that, maybe I wouldn't have felt that kind of like.
No, you have it in
no,
you.
No. I mean that. I mean that because I have a lot of grit inside of me. Yeah. But it's one thing to have it within you, but it's another thing when you respect someone, when you admire somebody, and they take the time to say to you, you can do this. Yes. You're gonna go get them. Well, I'm just saying, I appreciate you.
No,
thank you.
And listen, it's tough. It's difficult. We just talked with Golda Schultz.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had a very similar journey. But I think that you are the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't embrace and lift up the future of opera, where is it going to be?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know? And we have to hug you and say, you can do this. You are good enough. You're strong enough. And look what happened. But you have it inside of yourself. It's just sometimes it's hard to look at it this way, you know, and say, sure, I could do this, because looking in the mirror is difficult sometimes. So, yeah. But where is the world of opera going now? Where do you think? How do we have to change? I mean, talking about reflective times.
I don't know. I hope that we take this time to really understand, or to really be honest with how much we miss each other at the theater.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that opera, all of this virtual stuff, I love it. Personally, I like singing from my home. I like getting ready in my bathroom and then just coming downstairs and turning on the camera and just being right there. You know, I like that. That's fun to me. Mm-hmm. I hope that that's included in the future of opera. I hope that now that we are more, I don't know, I hope that we come back with more of a zest and more of a love for what we do, you know? I hope the audience comes back with more of a love and gratitude. I know I feel a lot of gratitude right now, because I sang this week with Cincinnati Symphony, and not having done this for 6 months. Wow. That was wild. You know, it was like, wait a minute. Do I know how to breathe? Wait, do I know how to sing? Am I a singer? I am a singer. Okay. You know, it was, yeah, but it was weird, because I haven't been singing consistently like that. So, you know, but I hope that what happens with opera is that we are more for each other and more for the art form than we've ever been before. I hope so.
I hope that one day in the future that you and I can have a Disney Princess Smackdown.
Okay, wait.
You started singing Color wind, and I was like, oh, I want to sing that. Do we have a duet version of that?
I love that. That's hilarious. So wait, so who is your favorite Disney princess?
All of them. I mean, I learned I grew up in Florida, so Disney was, a huge part of my life. And sang all the songs all the time in the songbooks, and I played piano, and my mom would buy the songbooks. I mean, you name it, like I could sit and play everything. So much so that my sister would come out and start yelling like, "I've had enough of that, stop playing!" And and so then I was always trying to mimic, like I could mimic the princesses and sing them in their voices, and so it was just always really fun. But I have found learning about you fascinating because of the vocal range that you have from singing something like that. There was a song you sang in a church, I think for BBC. And when I'm listening to you sing this, I'm hearing Whitney, I'm hearing Sandy Patty, I'm hearing like there are all these and I'm like, oh, did she grow up listening to that? Because so anyway, you do that, and plus you're like this amazing opera star. So I was like, oh, this would be so fun to go into karaoke with you.
That would be awesome.
And have a great time.
So I can't believe I love Whitney Houston. I love opera. I love Disney, but Sandy Patty, totally different. Whole other level for me. Yeah. If I ever met Sandy Patty, I would lose I don't know what I just need to not meet her. I need to stay away from Sandy Patty.
You would totally fangirl.
I love her. I've listened to, forever. She's been my favorite. I actually sing her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner and Amazing Grace. I've been doing that since I was probably 12.
Love.
Yeah. I love Sandy Patty.
You sang when you were from little kid, right? Because of your whole family is very musical?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So I started voice lessons when I was 6 years old. Yeah.
In LA.
I lived in Apple Valley, yeah, but we're about an hour and a half, 2 hours from LA.
So, opera, how did that happen?
That happened because my dad went to, I think now it's called Cleveland Conservatory of Music, but when he went there, it was called Cleveland Institute of Music. And he studied classical voice. So he grew up listening to Mario Lanza and Caruso, and his dad, my grandfather, was a coal miner, but he liked opera. He liked classical music. So that's where my dad got his love for opera from. Yeah. And so I always heard classical music. I really can't remember not knowing about opera or not hearing a symphony being played or something at home. They played everything. My mom and dad played all kinds of music, but for sure, opera was something that came from my dad because he loved it so much. And he was a great singer. He was really good.
I read that. Yeah, we both read that. That's so great.
What I find fascinating was about the Christian faith and Judaism. So yeah, I did my homework. So I wanted to know, did you grow up in both faiths, or did you learn about both faiths, or was it primarily a Christian-based faith?
So it's basically, judging by my own belief, I just call myself a believer. Yeah. I don't really get into very dogmatic. I wasn't raised like that either. So that's kind of helpful. So basically my dad studied voice. He was a gospel singer. That's pretty much how he earned his living, was singing gospel and preaching. Mm-hmm. So Friday night would happen and we would do this thing called, we would have Shabbos, we'd have Shabbat dinner. Mm-hmm. And so my mom would light the candles. She'd sing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. She'd sing the thing, and we'd have our blessing over the matzah, and then the wine. We were always drinking grape juice. It was never wine. And then that would be our Friday night. Saturday morning, we went to a Messianic synagogue. So it wasn't actually sometimes we would go to a Reform synagogue, but it was just a basically Christ-based synagogue, if that makes sense. And I know a lot of people have issues with that, which is one of the reasons why I don't talk about it a lot, because, people can get really weird about stuff. If you want to make somebody uncomfortable, start talking about God. Seriously.
Oh, for real.
Start talking about it's how you feel and it's what you believe. So
yes. Yeah. It is. It's true. So on Saturday, that's what we would do. We go to this, the place was called Mishpachat HaNesharim, which means family what was it? Family of Eagles. And then, you know, we'd have after that on Saturday, we'd have like a big dinner. Then Sunday we'd go to church, Sunday morning and Sunday night. So my weekend was just a big, I mean, for some people that's probably like religion overload, but it never felt like that growing up. I think that's one of the reasons why today I still follow it, you know. My dad summed it up though really well, because I remember one time he got into this very he was a wonderful man. He was like, he could do so many things. He was a Hebrew scholar. He had a Hebrew class that he taught at this place called Promise Christian University. So he taught biblical Hebrew, and then, you know, and he was a pastor. So it was just, he sort of just merged the two together, and that's how I was raised. But I say all of that because all of that whole, like, people can get really excited. Well, how can you be a Christian and also follow the Jewish thing? You know, how do you do that? You know, but it's this way. And this is what my dad said. When I do good, I feel good.
Yeah.
When I do bad, I feel bad. My job is to treat everybody the way that I want to be treated, to love God and to do right by others. Simple as that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good parents.
No, I find, yeah, great parents. I found it fascinating. I was raised in a very religious household, but when I was old enough to start really kind of figuring it out for myself, I asked a ton of questions. And my parents were awesome and said, well, why don't you learn about that? Why don't you learn about Catholicism? Why don't you learn about the Jewish faith and so forth, and the Quran and stuff? And I loved that because it gave me more information to make a decision for myself. And then as I've grown up and traveled the world and talked to so many people about it, because those that want to have a conversation, it's really can be quite fascinating. And yeah, so thanks for talking about it. I thought that was actually kind of cool. So
thanks for asking me about it.
Sure. All right. So what's it like? I read that you're a mama, a stepmom, or what do you call it? You're a stepmom.
Yes.
Yeah, stepmom. And I was just curious how COVID has been with that. I mean, has it been stressful? I mean, some of my mom friends are having a hard time. Some are okay. I mean, what's going on? How are you dealing with all that?
Yeah, are you homeschooling too?
Yeah, we're homeschooling, doing the virtual school thing. The first thing is my stepson is super smart, so we don't really have a whole lot to do with his schooling. I mean, he's really smart. What word did he say the other day? Adam, are you there? What is it called? I can't say that word. What is it? Amalgamation. My husband's just over there.
Amalgamation.
Hey, Hubs. Hey, husband.
They say hi, Adam. He says hello. Amalgamation. And I was like, what did you just say? And he's like, oh, I was. Yes.
It's like a joining of everything. It's like the combination of everything.
Yes, and he was talking. I forgot what it was he was speaking of, but we were driving, and I said, I have no idea what that is. And so he starts explaining it to me, and I'm just like, this kid is like, I gotta like do his homework for myself so that I can understand what he's saying. So with schooling, we're really blessed because Dean is so smart. He's only 9 years old. He's in the 4th grade, but I mean, he's great. You know, when I became a stepmom, he was 4. And when I met him, he was already like sounding out words and reading, you know. Cool. And so I feel like as his stepmom, maybe I have a little bit to do with it, but he's so smart. So it helps with his schooling. Being this time at COVID, being at home for these 6 months that we've been together in lockdown, I've loved it, but that's because I haven't been home for the last 5 years, you know, really. I mean, I'd be home for like 2 months, and then I'd be gone for a month, and I'd be home for 3 months, and I'd be gone for 2 months. So this has been great. I enjoy it a lot. And I like being a stepmom too. I mean, it's definitely like being thrown in, like if you can think of a pool, like an Olympic sized pool, and there's like the deep end, it's like somebody being like, hey, come here, I want to show you something. They push you into the deep end, and they're like, I hope you learn how to swim. You know, that's kind of what it's like. Sink or swim. But I mean, it's been awesome. Still working? Yes. He's been working this whole time, which is awesome for us. And he's actually just been doing a lot of like, what do you call that? Been doing a lot of sprint work with his team that he works with on, sorry, 1 second. Yes? What? Tell me. Sorry, my husband's, okay, that's right. He always tells me to tell people that he's always worked from home. I forget that because he has always worked from home. So,
assume that.
Yeah, he's always worked from home. So it's been awesome to, I have to keep myself busy. Otherwise I'll bother him while he's working, and I'll bring
Yes.
the chair in and sit next to his computer. Yeah, and I'm like, so what are you doing today? Are you gonna?
Yeah.
He's like, babe, and he's like trying to program and code, and
Mhm.
I'm like, do you want me to help you? I can't help him, I'm.
They're like, no, but no, my husband, now we've moved because we were in a little 1-bedroom apartment, and now both of us are home. He
Yes.
was going to an office. He traveled with me for years because he could work from anywhere, but then long story, whatever. But now we were in this little apartment. We finally moved to the house, and he's so excited that his office is on one side of the house and my office is on the other, so he doesn't have to hear me yakking all day while he's trying to work.
That's awesome.
I did call you a teenage girl the other day. I will say that.
I'm like, why do you have to be? Why are you judging me? I love to talk.
Yeah.
So when is your next official job back? I know you were just in Cincinnati, you said, but
Yes. My next official opera is supposed to be San Diego Opera.
Cool.
And that's supposed to be in I think it's the middle of the end of October, or when the shows are supposed to happen. I'm nervous because I don't think that, because my thing is I follow the science, and I've been following the science from the beginning.
Right.
And there's a part of me that thinks, okay, if we haven't come to a real conclusion as to how to really keep everybody safe, not just us singers, but everyone, the orchestra, the conductor, the stagehands, everyone, then as much as I want to go back to the stage, I still feel like maybe that's a risk. The traveling, I don't know. Sandra, you traveled recently, no?
Yeah, I was in Spain, and I'm going back to Spain in 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, here in Canada, you have to self-quarantine after you come back from just about anywhere else in the world. So I went over, sang one concert, and it is different over in Europe. We had all the protective measures. We only had an audience of 60 people because safety measures. And now I'm going back to Barcelona, Madrid, and they're being very, very cautious. We have to get tested every day in Barcelona as you walk in the theater. Yeah. You have to come with a negative COVID test within 5 days. My husband can't go in the theater. I mean, they're being very cautious. But that said,
that's good.
You have to weigh. I mean, Carrie and I have had this discussion endlessly. You have to see how comfortable you are, and if you're comfortable with it, or if you're not comfortable with it. But you have to be cautious and wear a mask. And we as singers, we understand that, because when we travel, we've already done that our whole lives, right?
Yes.
But it's the people that we deal with. If they're not being cautious, then you know what? My husband said, Sandra, I give you the permission. If you're not comfortable, we go home.
Yeah.
And to have that flexibility and freedom, that if you're not feeling comfortable, then you know what? Your health is more important. Everyone's health is more important, I think, than any of this. But that's my rant.
Is San Diego still going forward with it?
So yes, they're going forward because it's going to be a socially distanced, outside sort of drive-in opera.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's a brilliant idea. Actually, it's interesting because my husband and I had the same conversation where he was saying, I work because I want to work, but we've always lived off of Adam's income, and that's been a really big blessing for me, especially when there's times where I just don't want to travel,
Right.
But he was saying the same thing, because let's put it this way. I didn't go to the supermarket for 2.5 months. I didn't go, he would go. And when he came home, maybe this is TMI on Screaming Divas, I hope it's not, but
Carrie too.
He would go to the store, and Dean and I would be home, and I would make Dean go upstairs. When Adam came home, Adam would have to basically take all of his clothes off at the door. Yeah. And, he'd be in his boxers, and I would take his clothes. I'd have my hands covered with the plastic bags, and I'd pick up his clothes and put them right into the wash, because
we didn't know. And I was like we were reading the science, and nobody had said yet that it wasn't on our clothes or on our hair or anything. And so nobody knew what was going on. And I mean, I don't want to get this, and I didn't want to give it to him. And so we were really careful with And then only one person was allowed in the store. So we were just super careful with everything. Plus we lived in a condo building at the time where you're surrounded by people and elevators and the whole thing. And so I just have kept watching the science. And even if like you called me and said, hey, listen, I don't want to go to San Diego, will you go with me? I'd have a moment of pause, because how am I getting there? What are the precautions? I want to know. My type A personality wants to know the protocol. What are the rules? And then, okay, I'm cool with that as long as everybody else follows the rules.
Right.
And I mean, right now, my husband and I were just talking about flying to my niece's. She's graduating with her RN degree, which is really exciting, in December. And we were talking about how to get there. And I was like, I'd rather just road trip it. And he's like, Carrie, that is 28 hours. Are you insane?
I drove to Cincinnati. I got back yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, we drove. It was 10 hours. We drove.
Okay. So then, I mean, would you drive your butt all the way to San Diego though?
I would. I mean, I would, only because, I mean, I'm real American. Okay. I'm real American in that I have no problem getting in a Winnebago camper, and
Me
just
neither.
from here to there, I will get a rest stop. I will find a KO, a campground, and whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of grew up like that with my dad being a pastor. You know, we travel around ourselves. But I don't mind that. I mean, that's, you know, my husband was like, that's a 5-day trip. And I'm like, well, we got 5 days. You know?
And it's fun.
And all the rental companies are like, please take our cars. So, but I am not emptying the toilet. I'm sorry. Somebody else is doing that. I'll pay somebody. I'm not doing that.
That's a blue job.
Okay,
That's
but
a blue job.
If you get in an RV and drive your butt to San Diego, I want to talk to you, Screaming Divas, like on your way over there. That's hilarious.
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. But the weird thing is, though, San Diego actually is approaching, I think on Tuesday, they're going to decide whether or not it's become a purple, I think it's called purple state or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they've had so much, it means it's like the highest, the most dangerous, what is it called? Place to be with COVID.
Well, my brother lives there, and I was just talking to him yesterday, and he said it's because the university has 600 students that are now diagnosed with COVID. You know, because all these, I don't blame them. These young, I mean, I remember what it was like to go to college and lose your mind and have a good time, and you were cooped up all summer, and so now all of a sudden you're just whooping it up. But but he said that they're talking about that in San Diego. People that live there are losing their minds, because they're like, why you're punishing everyone for a university that couldn't get their poop in a group, as Sandra says, and figure out how to get these kids not to pass COVID around. So that, he's mad too, because it affects his business and his job and livelihood. And so, so hopefully they can figure out a way to get San Diego moving, so you can go. So.
But if not, you know, you'll have the job, and you have the Live Met HD.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
December 19. Yeah, that's wild. I kind of haven't been thinking about it as much as I probably should, just because when I think about it, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I look at the list of people singing, I'm like, wow, my name is there. That's crazy. And I keep going back to the website, and I'm like, my name is still there. It's still
he hasn't fired me yet. Where are you going to do it? Do you get to go to the Met Opera House and do it? That'd be so cool.
I would love to do it there. I personally would. I'm a nerd, like I said, very American. I would love to do it in front of like the Statue of Liberty, but it's going to be December. It'll be cold. So, you know, I imagine, and that's probably really too like Americana crazy or whatever, but I have absolutely no idea actually.
I think some designer needs to make some like awesome coat, and you need to get in that coat and stand in front of that lady and do it.
I would love that. I mean, that's kind of just, I don't know. I'm weird like that. I love monuments. You know, I've always been a fan of like, even actually when we drove from Cincinnati, we stopped at this place and it was talking about, I guess, people like I don't know, I'll call them the settlers. It was at a rest stop, and they had a little poster and a plaque of people that came through Ohio going out west. And I stood there and read it with my mask on, you know, because I found it fascinating.
That's cool. That's
American,
cool.
There's so much about America that is people don't know. There's so much history there. I love it too. I think, and that a 5-day road trip, wow.
That would be cool.
You could really learn a lot. You should, you know what, film as you're going out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Have
cool.
a little show and
Angel Blue on the road.
I want to backtrack a little bit. because I met you when you were a young
Yes.
artist in Los
Yes.
Angeles. Uncovering a little bit here. Deep, deep. But, we did a master class, and I remember you sang then, and I thought the minute you opened your mouth, I thought, this girl, she's got a special talent.
Thank you.
And I want to know that journey for you from the young artist to where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
What did it take? What kind of difficulties did you encounter, or great joys did you encounter? I mean, what was that journey like? Because there's a lot of young kids out there that are looking for that journey too.
Well, first of all, thank you for asking me that question and asking it like that. I don't get asked that a lot about like the trajectory of going from the young artist program to till now. Oftentimes, and maybe it's true. So I'm just going to say it. And most of the time I met you when you were a young artist, and let's keep you there. Instead of, and I appreciate you bringing me from 2008 to 2020. I've had I don't know, Sandra. I remember the master class. I remember you telling me to smile when I'm singing, which is here, so that I wouldn't lose my position. I think about that all the time. I thought about it when I was doing Knoxville last week. Because I do this thing where I get like really serious.
Yeah, you get serious and then you drop the position.
Yes, and I'm like, and now maybe I don't know. Maybe now I'm constantly, I don't know. Maybe now I'm smiling all the time. I don't know, but I am happy. But I remember the master class. I remember you telling me to have fun in the coloratura section and not to be so. It was Qui La Voce that I sang. And I remember you saying that. I remember sitting at, it wasn't Kendall's, it was the other restaurant. I don't remember the other restaurant.
The Mexican restaurant.
The Mexican restaurant, yes. It was so delicious. And you took me and Danielle Walker, I believe Renita Miller as well. Some of us girls, we were doing Swar Angelica.
Swar Angelica cast.
Yes, and you bought us necklaces and bracelets, and yes, Sandra bought us necklaces and bracelets, and she brought it into one of our performances and was like, pick what you want. And
oh, she's a good egg.
Yes, I'm gonna get to the question. I just have to say that because that's something that I remember, that stands out a lot to me. And I just remember sitting across from you and Duncan at this restaurant, and you guys just being so open about everything, about what it's like to be married and be in the profession. And what's really weird is I remember you saying that Duncan was an IT guy. And I remember thinking, gosh, it'd be great to marry an IT guy. And now I'm married to an IT guy. So, that's kind of
cool. It all comes around, right?
Yes. Yeah. So from that point to, and I guess I say all of that to just really say thank you again. I did a conversation with Opera America last year, and I told them, I said, I can count on one hand how many professional opera singers actually reached out to me and were like kind and nice and like encouraging. And the first name I said was Sandra.
Oh, thank you.
So from that time to today, I suppose what I've done is I've taken all of the stuff that I heard when I was a young artist, the good and the bad. And it's been hard because I've had to process it. And some things I've processed and I've kept with me, and I'm like, okay, that was good information. That was something that's going to fuel the fire for you to keep going. And there are other things that I was told where I was like, that was meant to bring you down. That was meant to tear down your spirit. That was meant to discourage you. So what you do is you take that, remember it only because you're going to use it to help yourself go up.
Yeah.
That's been the last 11 years for me. It's really just been, the obstacles have been the sacrifice that opera singers have to, those of us who desire an international career. I understand that everybody doesn't want that, but for those of us who do desire that, there's a great deal of sacrifice that goes into it. I have girlfriends who are, their kids are like 10 years old. They had their kids when they were 25, 26. Mm-hmm. And I'm still waiting to have mine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who are celebrating their 10th or 11th year of being married, or even longer. And, you know, I only got married. We're in our 5th year of marriage now. So, I mean, those kinds of sacrifices, those things that go into the career, those are the things I suppose that I've been the heaviest, I suppose, on my mind, on my heart,
Mm-hmm.
the last 11 years. I mean, of course, I could easily talk about, you know, the auditions, the failed auditions. I call them failed auditions because that's how I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I treated them was, oh, I went and I sang for this person and they were like, why are you singing? Why are you, I actually had somebody say this to me overseas. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Were his exact words to me. What are you doing here?
That's heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Rude.
Quite rude. But, you know, I hope that in this time of COVID, where all of these theaters are going through this, as we are as well, all these theaters are going through this thing of, you know, please give to us, please donate, you know, keep us open. I hope that this is a time of humility for a lot of people, a time to realize that it's not just, you know, it matters how we treat each other.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. And it matters how we treat people who come in for auditions. All of that will be, we reap what we sow.
Yeah.
So, and please don't think I'm suggesting that COVID has happened because of audition.
No.
I'm not suggesting that at all, but I am saying, you know, that we do, it matters how we treat people. And
True
some of
colors
these
come out during
yes.
during
Yeah.
times
I don't know, maybe I
of
should stop
crisis.
talking because I don't know if I'm actually answering
No,
the
you're making a
question.
lot.
No, you are.
It's a great story because you are. Here you were, I met you. You were a young artist in LA, and now you're going to be on one of the live recitals, solo recitals at the Metropolitan Opera.
It's
I mean,
huge.
what a huge trajectory. And that's a lot to take in
Yeah.
okay, 11 years sounds like it's a long time, but in an operatic career, to go
No.
from 0 to 60 in 11 years is a pretty fast trajectory.
Yeah.
And there had to have been some great, amazing moments in the middle of that too for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, there were. I think most of the best moment I can think of is probably when I gave myself permission to like my voice. I know that sounds really weird.
No?
I did that about 7 years ago. On my 30th birthday, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be really happy about my voice. I'm gonna like my voice. I'm not gonna, you know, whatever somebody says to me about my voice, if it's constructive criticism, I'll take it and I'll use it to make myself better. If it's negative, I'll take it and I'll use it to make myself better. I did do that about 7 years ago. I really started to give myself, really working on myself. That's probably been the best thing that's come from getting to where I am today. It's weird because 11 years, it doesn't sound, it's long, but it's not so long. But in that time, I've lost my dad. I've lost both of my grandmothers, both of them. Wow. That just kind of hit me right now. I've lost both of my grandmothers. A lot of things have happened. I lived in Europe, moved back to the United States, went back to Europe. You know, I've had, I don't even know, I think it's kind of ridiculous to say, but it's true. I've had like 4 managers. Like, what, you know? And that's crazy. And that's not because, you know, I don't get along with people, but it's actually the opposite, where it's just, you know, you have to see eye to eye. You know, how can two walk together except they be agreed?
Right.
And if they're not agreed, then that's going to be difficult. I've also gotten married in that time. I've become a stepmom in that time. You know, we've purchased a house and all of the stuff that comes with life. Also, I'm, you know, a growing woman who is experiencing my body doing all of these changes and making sure that I go to the doctor and I'm not, you know, my mom's like, you know, you're almost 40 and, you know, when you turn 40, you got to make sure that you do this and that you do that. Make sure you got to eat right, Angel. You know, I mean, all of this stuff. Yes. All of this stuff has happened. But honestly, though, I think all of those things, that's life, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need, life experience, to really not just be a good artist, but also what helps us to be a good person, I think. I don't know.
I love that because I think there's I love the stories of singers, of actors, of whatever, dancers, musicians, famous people, because it's really interesting their journeys, and everyone has had their own road and their own path, and it's never been easy for any of them. I mean, there's always, because so like if I've looked at your career, I'm like, oh my gosh, this she's so talented and she's flying and doing all of these wonderful things, but to know the other side of that story makes a whole package. And I find that as opera singers, we're not always talking about that other side of the story, about life, because everything on social media is always just so, oh, everything's fabulous and awesome all the time. And I love this time of COVID because I feel like there is more truth, there's more humanity, there's more realness and honesty in our lives outside of the sparkly gowns and tiaras that sometimes we get to wear. So
you do?
Yeah. Yes, girl. I love my tiaras, and I have wanted to steal them. And Sandra does steal things from the opera houses.
Where is that from?
Big house.
Sorry, we're the Metropolitan Opera. This is my Queen Elizabeth ring from Roberto Devereux.
Oh,
and
that's
if
awesome.
Looking for it. It's not here.
I asked the heads of 2 opera companies, can I please have this jewelry? And both of them said, Carrie, if that is not on the truck going back to wherever it is, we know where we're coming to get it.
Where's that from?
Remember this? This is from Suor
That's from Suor Angelica? Oh my gosh.
She's a klepto, Angel. She's a klepto.
Do they know that you do they know that you took it?
I just gotta put that right back there.
Yeah. Okay,
that's great.
Okay, tell me this. This is actually from my husband, because my husband asked me today, hey, who are you talking to? And I said, your name. And he said, have I met her? And I said, no, you haven't. And he goes, well, can you ask her this? And I was like, what? Because he's never, ever done this.
No.
He said, her name is so cool. Is that name your birth name, Angel Blue? Or is that a different, or did you come up with that like your singer name?
Wow, thank you for that question. That's my birth name. And that's because my mom wanted to, oh dear, my light just went out. Oops.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. That's okay. My light I hit it. It doesn't need to be on. It's fine, babe, if it's off. My husband comes to the rescue. He's so wonderful.
Is he your techie too?
He's my techie. He knows I don't know what I'm doing ever, so he helps me with everything. My mom wanted to name me Tiffany. And yeah, she wanted me to be Tiffany because I don't know what her reason was, but she was saying that she liked the name or something. And my dad, this is kind of funny. My dad said that when my mom was carrying me, he would like look up into the clouds and he would see like angels' wings. He said one time he was sitting on the side of his bed and that it looked like an angel like had gone around the corner. And he said, no, Sylvia, her name has to be Angel. It has to be, her name has to be Angel, and she's going to be the joy of my life. So my name is Angel Joy Blue.
That is an awesome name. Yeah. I can't wait to tell him the whole name. He's going to love that. Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I miss my dad. Miss him a lot. I think about him all the time, you know?
You know, all of us have lost. I lost my dad, is it 4 years now? 4 years now? About 4 years ago from a hit and run drunk driver.
Oh my God.
It was awful. And Sandra lost her dad when she was, how old were you?
17.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I found my father dead. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, at the age of 54. So, you know, it's amazing how it impacts our lives. But I think losing my father made me the performer and the artist that I am now.
Mm-hmm.
It was that immense grief and sadness that it's that well of emotions that I always kind of dip into for these roles like Tosca, like Trovatore, you know, Suor Angelica, and you use that moment. And Billy Friedkin actually said that to me. He came up to me right before I sang Senza Mama, and he said, think of your dad. And I'm like,
yeah.
But you know, it makes us, I'm emotional today. It makes us the artists that we are, you know, and it makes us that much more honest and real and sincere. And how old was your father, Angel?
My dad was young. He was 60. I think he was 66. I want to say he was 66 because let's see here, what is this, 2020? Yeah, he was 66. And it was totally unexpected, completely unexpected. I mean, he was, he was fine. The thing is, my dad was from Alabama and grew up in West Virginia and then Ohio. So he liked, like, he didn't really care about what he ate. I mean, he was never fat and overweight or anything like that. He was never just, carrying excessive fat or anything like that. But he ate a lot of, like, fried foods. And I don't know. My mom is funny because today she'll be like, you want to learn from dad. And that's, it's true. I do. I mean, I respect my father so much. He's been passed away for 14 years. This year it'll be 14 years. But I think he would want me to learn from him. Like, don't do what I did. And he used to always tell me, he would always say, Angel, you should go further than I did. You should go further than me. All y'all, he would always say, all y'all should go further than I did. You don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. And I think, it just caught up with him, the way he would eat, and he didn't always want to go to the doctor and that kind of a thing. So in 2004, he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And he had a lower body amputation of his small toe on his left foot. And then he was getting better, but then he had to have triple bypass surgery on his heart. And then after that, he was getting better, but then 2006 happened. It literally was just, he was ministering all the time and just constantly going. Maybe that's another reason why I'm thankful for this time, because my dad was just, he was always ready for people. He was really what I think the definition of a pastor is supposed to be, because he was always ready to give of himself.
Oh, your turn now.
Yeah, but it led to, I think it led to him not being as rested, not being as healthy as he could have been, should have been, whatever. But I will say this: there's one great thing that I like about that brings a smile to my face. I was singing in Germany in 2015, and I was getting ready to go to sing in Germany with the Baden-Baden Festspielhaus. And they hired me to do this New Year's Eve concert. And I was looking at this contract, and it said Sylvester Gala. And I was like, Sylvester Gala, what is that? And it's spelled differently than my dad's name. It's Silvester. His name was spelled Sylvester. And so I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And I went to Dresden to finish, I was doing The Great Gatsby at the time. And cool. I went to Dresden to finish The Great Gatsby. And I was talking to Herr Rother, who was working at the Dresden Symphony Opera at the time. And he's like, hey, Angel, you're going to do the Sylvester Gala. That's great. We love the Sylvester Gala. I'm like, what is this Sylvester Gala thing? What are these people talking about? So I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not German. My aunt is German. My husband's family's German, but I didn't know anything about it. So I'm like, what is the Sylvester Gala? And so I asked him, I said, Herr Rother, I said, what is the Sylvester Gala? He said, that is the Saint Sylvester. Saint Sylvester was a pope, and Saint Sylvester died on December 31st. My dad's name was Sylvester. He was a pastor. He died on December 31st. And up until that point, I had never wanted to sing in December because I'm a mess in December. I mean, I'm a hot mess in December. It's just my dad's birthday is in January. So December and January, you catch me on the wrong day, I might be like, a little snappy.
Yeah.
Just because I'm missing him, I'm thinking of him. And up until that point, I had not sung in December. So when I found out that, I was like, I'm definitely doing this gala, and I'm going to do it in honor of my dad.
I love that.
So I think that's that's really a beautiful story. I think there's something to that. I don't know what, but I find it fascinating.
Well,
I always think things like that are like a hug. Like you just got a hug, your dad hugged you and said, hey, I love you. You're doing good, Yes.
Well, I think that's a super high note to leave this on. I really do. Yes. And if you have maybe just a few minutes,
yes,
you probably saw that we do rapid fire. Yes, have a drink.
Yes.
Are you ready for rapid fire?
Do you want to start or shall I?
Go ahead. Go, girl.
Best beauty tip.
Just be happy with yourself.
Amen. Sorry. Hallelujah.
Yeah. I'm a former beauty queen. Yes. Be happy with yourself. And everybody else's opinion of you does not matter. Love yourself right where you are.
Okay.
Right where you are.
hashtag of the day, and I'm very upset that we did not talk about the beauty queen years.
It's okay.
So you have to come on Screaming Divas again and talk about that. Okay. Okay, what sound or noise do you love?
This is gonna sound really weird, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me. Oh, my husband like sleeping or snoring or something. I like it. Sometimes he snores right in my ear, and I'm like, I'm awake, but he's right here next to me. I'm next to him.
Yay!
You know, there's another singer on this planet, Joyce L. Coolry, who loves that sound. And because I have walked into rehearsal, I've slept like 2 hours, and it's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, my husband snores so loud, the walls vibrate, and I want to kill him.
Oh, there might be sometimes just gentle nudges in the middle of the night, and he's like, "Oh, what happened? I don't know."
That gentle, it's called a kick.
Okay, 3 words that best describe you.
Joyful, thankful. Curious.
Curious.
Yeah, curious.
That's a good word.
I would like to know, and Sandra was going to get mad at me for asking this question, but I don't care. So what is your favorite curse word in any language?
I'm so sorry, Angel.
No, I curse. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you.
I learned how to drive in LA. Adam's funny. He said Shiza. You know he wants to be on the show, right?
Heisa Scheisse.
He wants to come on the show?
He wants to, he's so funny, but then he's camera shy when I say, "Oh, come on," and he's like, "No."
Oh, he's my husband. That's my husband.
Yes,
I'm like,
they're probably the same person. I would think.
like
No,
it.
let's see. My favorite cuss word. I do. That's the thing. I do say Shiza. I say it a lot. That's probably why he just Shiza. I'll be like, because I'll be driving. I'll be like Shiza, and then maybe I say that because people don't know. But I'm trying to think. Do I have a really like a real favorite one? Something that I use. I would excuse my language, Shiza, or I'll say shit.
Shit.
I'll be like when we were doing Porgy and Bess. Actually, I was on the wrong side of the stage. You know Susie Gomez, our I love Susie, our dresser. Thank you. I was on the wrong side of the stage, and Susie puts me in my place like that. I mean, she does not care. She's like, and I have told her, I'm like, let me know what's up. Please don't have me, here acting crazy. And I was on the wrong side of the stage, and she was like, Angel, what are you doing over here? You're not supposed to be over here.
Like that.
Come on to the other side. Come on. What are you doing? Crazy. She's standing with me, like with this bottle of water. She's like, what are you doing? We're going to be late. And so I'm walking and I'm like, I am so sorry. And she's like, what's the matter? And I had forgotten, like Bess had a purse, left the purse on the other side of the stage, had to run over there. And I said it out really loud. I was like, shit. And then excuse my language. And the guy, one of the stage hands, he was like, okay. And so I knew I had said it really loudly, but you get me on this on a certain day and you'll get all kind of interesting words. And then I'll be like, I'm so sorry that I apologize.
My grandmother was an immensely religious woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I heard her cuss, which was that word shit, I was like, oh my God, like how did it? And she was like, listen up. Like, it's not ladylike to cuss, A, is what she said. But B, there's a but in there. But sometimes there is a time for a well-placed word, and the only word that can really mean that is shit. And I was like, okay. So that was her favorite cuss word, and I loved her for that. I loved her so much for that. So anyway, there you go. Okay.
Yes.
What is a song that always gets stuck in your head?
My stepson, he listens to this. What is that called that he listens to? It's like it's from one of his games.
Oh,
it's like Undertale or something. I don't know, like something he plays, Roblox or something. And it's like it's just always in my head. But I mean, it's not, nobody knows it. It's just I hear it all the time because he's playing the game all the time.
I know that we're asking you these questions and I keep like interjecting, but I've been editing a video for Isabel Leonard and we were talking about Sound of Music because she's going to sing Marie coming up. And awesome. I am not joking. I woke up this morning and I went up on a hill and a lonely it has been in my mind all day, so much so that I made myself laugh, like doing the operatic version of it. Like I just started singing upon a hill there's a lonely daughter, and my husband's like, "What is going on?"
Carrie, you are a hot mess.
I'm sorry, I'll edit that out. But I'm sorry, that is all in my head all day. Is that song? Anyway, okay. Last question.
Sure.
If heaven exists, what do you want to hear God say as you walk through the pearly gates?
Ooh. Well, after cursing, I would hope that God would forgive me for cursing. Depending on, if it was like, hopefully I wasn't cursing at someone. That happens when you're from Los Angeles and you're driving.
Yes, it does.
It does happen.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, this is going to make me look like it's going to make me seem crazy, but I do believe it. I do believe heaven exists. And I would like to hear God say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."
Love
and
it.
I would like to see my dad and my grandma.
Yeah.
And my mansion.
Right?
Mansion. Does it have white pillars like mine does?
I don't know. I want a nice big house where I can a big mansion where I can just enjoy eternity. This is totally weird. One time I was praying. I know this is probably going to sound crazy, but whatever. I'm a little weird anyway. No, I was praying one time and I was like, you know what? The Bible says that like you'll get a mansion, Okay. So I thought, I don't need a mansion. I can live in my parents' house. If we have mansions, a mansion's really big. So I can live in my parents' mansion. I don't know how old I was when I was thinking this. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, wow, eternity's supposed to be like forever. And I thought, no, I can't live with my parents forever. I need my own mansion.
Yes.
It is. And you know what? It also has the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
No wait.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
So
I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you
on the show. Really, it's great to see you. I'm glad that you're happy and
Thank
healthy.
Me too. Yeah.
We are very happy.
Thank you for having me on this show. I'm really honored to be here with you ladies.
Oh, what are you talking about? We're honored to have you. And I love what you've put out online and your joy and happiness that you're spreading. I think it's stuff that we need right now in this time. It's why we started these crazy shenanigans. So we could, talk to our friends, talk to people we didn't know, we hadn't met yet, wanted to know about their lives and wanted to have some laughs and giggles along the way too. So I thank you for what you're doing and putting out there, and thanks for coming on, and I hope that we get to do it again.
Yes, me too. And both of you, just so I can say it, both of you are like my favorite Toscas, and I've watched so much of your stuff online. I appreciate your artistry. I appreciate you as women. I'm just really honored that you had me on today. Thank you so much.
Oh, please.
Love having you. Thanks for being here.
Be well, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.